Hey y'all, this is Brett, and today we're going to do a test to see how advanced we are. And we're going to test ourselves on 4 levels: mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional. And as examples, I'm going to show you the numbers, and I haven't even done this before. I've done it a little bit in my mind, but not this specific test. We're going to show you the numbers for me, for a monk in Tibet, and for a librarian. And I just came up with those off the top of my head. Okay, so I'm going to grade myself, and I'm going to grade these other 2 entities, people, types of people. And so mentally, I would grade myself as maybe I'll give myself a 7, okay, mentally, because you know, I've never been to college, and so I can't possibly go higher than that. I don't have a lot of knowledge on a broad range of subjects, but I have a lot of common sense. I'm a fairly intelligent person. I believe that my IQ is somewhere around 135, 140 last time I tested it. I mean, I only tested it once. And so I'm able to articulate things fairly well. And I'm not a great communicator. I'm a pretty good communicator, but I mean, I don't have people skills, no doubt, like in person. I'm going to give myself a 7, just for fun. Okay, physically. Well, you know, I'm doing a lot better physically. I went on an 8-mile hike the other day, and if I go ride my bike, I could probably ride 50 miles in a day. But, I mean, I don't feel comfortable riding more than 20. So I'm going to give myself, at this point, I'm going to give myself a 6. Okay, spiritual. Okay. My Mormon ancestors, I believe that they gave me this degree of spirituality, believe it or not. Even though I don't believe in their thing very much, I think that they did a lot of prayer and communication with creation that enables them to have a stronger connection. And I think that I have a pretty strong spiritual connection. And I would grade myself also as a 7. Okay, emotional. I've done a lot of emotional work in my life. And I went to Course in Miracles meetings, and I did Indian breathwork ceremonies, and I'm not afraid to let out, just cry, you know, or to just scream, and I've got a lot of it out. And so stability-wise, I feel as though I am pretty good emotionally. I think I'm a 7 also. Okay, so 7 and 6 is 13, and 7 is 20, and 7 is a 27 out of a total possible 40 points. I'm a 27. Okay, so a monk in Tibet. Let's move on to that. Mentally, a monk in Tibet does not have a strong mental thing going on because they haven't been exposed to television, which teaches people a lot of things. I mean, believe it or not, television has taught people a tremendous amount of things. It's mostly geared for entertainment, but, you know, the computer and the television can be educational tools, and people that aren't exposed to those things don't have much depth in that area. They haven't been to school. Maybe they didn't even go to elementary school. And so a monk in Tibet only is maybe a 1 mentally. Whereas we're going to pop right over here to the librarian that is possibly a 9 or maybe even a 10, you know. That person could go on Jeopardy and win it. They're very intelligent librarians, read all the time. That's why they work at the library, because they're smart people. They've probably been to college and learned a whole lot of things that they'll never use. They spend a fortune going to college. I don't recommend it highly. Unless you just really want to just go and learn a whole bunch of things that you'll probably never use. But they're really smart, whereas the monk in Tibet, he may have intuition about things and what's right and what's wrong, but that's not really mental so much. That's more spiritual. Okay, so the monk in Tibet may or may not have good physical health. Now, it depends on how old they are, but I would doubt that their lifespans are very long, and they live on a high desert plateau, and life is tough up there. And they may be somewhat strong mentally to be able to train their bodies, as many of the yogis have, to be able to do incredible things. But physically, generally, I doubt that they're very healthy, and I would say probably only maybe a 5. Probably not even that, maybe like a 4. Now, spiritual for the monk. Ooh, the harder the life is, the more that you connect with creation, right? And so a monk is going to be really, really spiritual. At least a 9. At least we got to give the monk a 9 spiritual. Okay? Now, emotional. A monk may have some emotional difficulty in thinking about all the travesty, the horrors of China invading their country, and they may have a lot of issues in these regards, or not. This is a hard one to call. I can't just say what any monk's emotional being may be, because they'll probably all be different. You can't categorize that specific category very well for one particular group. And so I'm just going to give it a 5. Okay? Because some may be very emotionally stable and others may not. Now, a librarian, they might be very, very emotionally stable. And I would say probably at least a 7 or an 8. Let's give them a 7. And the librarian is probably not very physically healthy, because like a librarian just sits around all day in the library and reads. Maybe they'll walk over to the bathroom to pee, and that's it, and then back. So, now that's not true for all librarians. Maybe there are some sports librarians, or maybe not. But I'm only going to give the librarian a 3 for the physical. Now, spiritual. I would say that most librarians aren't really that strong spiritually. Maybe, maybe not. That's one of those hard to call ones again. Like the monk is definitely going to be spiritual. But who knows if a librarian is spiritual or not? They could be an atheist. So once again, I'm just going to give the librarian a 5. So now let's add these up. The monk has 6 and 9 is 15 and 5 is 20. And the librarian has 9 and 3 is 12 and 5 is 17 and 7 is 24. Winner! Winner! No, I didn't, I swear. I didn't plan this. I didn't plan this, but I won. Now, you do it for you, okay? I want you to do it for you, and then comment. I want you to take the comments and write down mental, and then put your number, physical, and then put your number for that, spiritual, put your number for that, and emotional, and put your number for that down below in a comment. Isn't this a great idea? And then we'll find out who the most advanced being is on my channel. At least on my channel. So thanks for joining me. And life is good. I'm telling you. I knew exactly what I was doing when I made that video.